All right, so if you're a local business and you want to take things to the absolute next level in 2026 and you want to generate more leads, more referrals, more reviews, more clients, then in this video, I'm going to break down 3 steps to absolutely dominate your local market and become the local authority. Because ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer about who is the best at what they do, right? The best HVAC company, service-based business, roofing company, solar company. You need to become the best known, right? And here's the thing, you might be the best at what you do, right? You might have the best company, but if nobody knows who you are, then none of that even matters. So what are we gonna cover in this video? We're really gonna cover 3 main things. Number 1 is we're gonna talk about some of the outdated methods and some of these things you're probably still doing. Number 2 is we're gonna talk about the new and much better way. And if you look at any of the other service-based businesses out there, this is exactly what they're doing. We're gonna break it down. And then number 3, we're gonna talk about how to exactly set this up for yourself. Now, before we move forward, you're probably asking, who the heck is this guy? Why is he yelling at me? Well, my name is Aaron Martinez. I'm the owner of a company called Local Authority Media. As the name suggests, we help people in their own areas become the local authority and really take over their markets. I've done this for thousands of clients. We've generated over $100 million using very specific strategies just like this one. And like I said, I'm not holding anything back in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're gonna cover is these outdated and old methods. And I know you're reading some of these things and you're like, Aaron, I do this and these work. Well, let me just give me a second here, but we're gonna break each of these down. So number 1, word of mouth, right? Word of mouth. If your marketing strategy is completely reliant on somebody else and them being the one that brings you business, I mean, you've kind of already lost at this point, right? Then here's the thing. If you're perfectly content with where you are and you're generating the business that you want, like this video is probably not for you. But if you know that you're destined for more and you know that you can get in front of more people and help more people and really scale the business so that you can help more people, and then as a byproduct, you can also build out your company, which means you can help your employees, pay them more, right? All those things provide more for your family, then obviously this video is for you. But word of mouth is not a scalable strategy, right? Same thing with referrals, very similar to word of mouth, but referrals, right? Networking groups, it's like you got to go to all these groups and then you're wasting the time, or not wasting, but you know what I mean, right? You're going out to, like, if you can only generate business by going to a networking event, then, I mean, think about all the time you spend on, going to those events, talking to people, right? I'm not saying that it's not a good thing, but it's just not a really sustainable way to grow the business. And then last but not least, door to door and cold calling. I put a little, throw up emoji there because I don't think anyone enjoys those things. If you do enjoy those things, hats off to you. Keep doing it, right? And also down here, right, some of the other outdated methods, right? Google ads, SEO, randomly posting on social media, Facebook ads. Now, don't get me wrong. I do a lot of these things, but not before I have the strategy that I'm going to talk about here in a second, not before I have that in place, because Google ads, I mean, number 1, they've gotten really expensive. And a lot of times you are basically competing with some people in your market that are probably spending thousands of dollars a day on these advertising or on this advertisement. So it becomes very, very difficult for you to outspend those people, right? SEO is good, but it just takes a long time, right? If you haven't been in business for 20 plus years, it becomes really difficult to start to rank in the search engines through SEO, right? Randomly posting on social media. I don't think I have to tell you about why this doesn't work. Number 1, when you post on social media, it goes out to a really large audience. And if you're a local business, it doesn't really help you, right? So there's a better strategy we're going to talk about that you can post on social media, but we'll take out this random word. So we'll talk about that here in a second. And also Facebook ads, right? Facebook ads, they can work. It's like, Aaron, you're a marketing company. You're talking about why Facebook ads don't work. Well, they can work, but very similar to Google ads is there's a lot of people that are spending on Facebook ads. And if you don't have the right strategies in place, you're basically going to throw all of your money out the window. So these are the outdated methods. Again, if you're using these things and they're working for you, more power to you. But if you're looking for the best way to grow in 2026, these are just not the things that you want to be looking at. Now, really, all these things that I just touched on really falls into the reason why they don't work as well as they used to or really anymore is because it falls into one of these 4 categories. Number 1 is they're inefficient. So very similar, or what we talked about with the door-to-door or the networking groups, right? They're just not efficient. They cannot scale past your own work and you doing it, right? They're unscalable, which goes along the same lines, right? You can't really scale. I mean, you can scale door-to-door teams, but who wants to do that, right? There are much more efficient ways to do that, right? They're outdated. So a lot of these outdated things, like who's picking up a cold call? I mean, iPhone, iOS, I think 27 just came out with something where if you cold call someone, it doesn't even ring their phone, right? You can't actually use that. And then also these things are saturated, right? Everyone's doing Facebook ads. Everyone's doing, Google ads. Everyone's doing all these different things. So if you're looking to scale, You need to be different and you need to be innovative and do something and really focus on where people are at in 2025 going into 2026. So now that we understand, the outdated methods, let's talk about the number 2, which is the new and much better way of doing things. And the way that I like to break this down is it is a hyper-targeted local Instagram ad strategy plus strategic content creation. So I like to call this the local authority funnel, or the LAF. I'll trademark that, the LAF. And really it's 2 of these things. So as we talked about earlier, it's not just ads and it's not just posting on social media, but it's a combination of the 2. I'm going to break down the exact strategy here in a second. Now, before I do that though, I do need to kind of call out put a picture of an elephant here. I got to call out the elephant in the room. I know there's a lot of people that are on this video that are watching this that are like, Aaron, I tried ads before, just ads do not work for my business. I'm a special category. I've tried them before and they don't work. There's really only 3 main reasons why, if you did try ads in the past, that they didn't work. Number 1 is you didn't spend enough money. Number 2, I'm going to break these down a little bit deeper here in a second, but number 1, you didn't spend enough. Number 2 is you used the wrong strategy. And number 3, I fall into this category all the time, is that you might have been a little bit impatient. So let's break these things down. So really, again, this is more just around setting the right expectations, that sometimes you're going to have to spend, even for my own ads in my own local market here in Central Arkansas, is I had to spend $2,000 to $3,000 before I had one ad work. But as soon as the ad worked, I put $200 in and I got $12,000 out. Right? But it was because I went through the process of testing and making sure that I can find the right strategy. And then, we're gonna scale that to the moon, right? So I want you guys to understand that it's not so much about, are you always gonna make a return on ads? No, if the ad is bad and you're using the wrong strategies, as we talked about, that's probably why you're watching this video and why you have this misconception. But we just have to set the expectation that there's going to be a little bit of money that needs to be put out there to test and make sure that we find the right strategy. Right, the second thing is using the wrong strategy. So I won't go too down this rabbit hole because we've already kind of talked about this. But if you're using, you're going through an agency and you're running Facebook ads and it's not super targeted, or the wrong targeting, or the wrong ad copy, there's so many different things that could go wrong when it comes to the wrong strategy. But I've, again, cracked the code on what works with local. So if you just follow the strategy, you won't have to follow the wrong strategy anymore and actually trust something that actually works. And the last piece is being impatient, right? Again, I think this is the hard part for most entrepreneurs, right? Most people is sometimes you have to try a couple ads. You have to try a couple different landing pages. You have to try a couple different offers and different strategies. But once you crack the code, think of it as you're investing that time, so that, let's say in 2 to 3 months from now, instead of not doing anything, right, what most local businesses are doing, they try something one time and it doesn't work and they're like, oh, this ad thing doesn't work, right, is if you can just be a little bit patient and then follow the right strategy, is hopefully towards the end of this video, you'll have a lot more confidence of okay, this is the strategy I need to go for. Let's just trust this and work with it. And I want you to be a little bit patient in just doing that. So that's really the 3 main reasons why ads usually don't work. So hopefully I've maybe checked that off in your mind a little bit. Just suspend your disbelief through the rest of this video. So hopefully now that you trust me a little bit and understand, okay, I got to be patient. I got to use the right strategy, and I got to maybe put a little bit more than I have in the past. Let's jump into the actual strategy of the local authority funnel. So really it's broken down into 3 to 4 different steps. So the first part here is introducing some sort of Instagram advertisement. Now, this is going to be an ad that we use on our Instagram pages, and it's going to be done in a specific way. And don't worry, we're going to go through the actual scripting and all that type of stuff of the actual strategic here, but I need you to understand at a high level what this looks like. But basically, we're going to start off with an Instagram ad. So mine, I'm targeting people, local service-based businesses in Central Arkansas. So this is what my ad looks like. You can go to if you just go to a local authority media on Instagram, you can watch the ad itself, but this is what it looks like, right? It's an advertisement that is specifically going out to service-based businesses in my area in a geographical range, right? It's literally like a pin. If you've done ads in before, you've probably seen this, but it's a pin, and I'm only targeting the people that I want to, right? Then what happens, again, $20 to $30 a day, I would say is the minimum budget. I'm currently spending $50 a day. But it's because I'm assuming I'm going to scale this to probably about $100 a day. And then past that, probably $500 a day. We're going to see, I'm going to have to hire more team to basically start handling some of these leads. But basically, $20 to $30 a day is a really good starting point. So essentially, the ad, what I'm saying in the ad is my CTA, right? Where I'm pulling them to, my call to action is I'm telling them to follow me on Instagram. Right? Now, Aaron, why are you telling me to follow me? I want leads. I want buyers. Well, the thing is like we talked about earlier with Facebook ads, is everybody right now is running Facebook ads that say, buy my product, get a roof installed, all these different things. Now that could work, but because you're going much more direct, is you're gonna need a much higher ad spend budget, and something that a lot of people, like, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying start with something where it's gonna be a lot more cost effective and you're gonna be able to close some deals and get a much higher return first, and then transition to something into, like a lead form or things like that. But if you really just think about it, like think about your own habits, is if you see a random ad on Instagram, are you immediately gonna say, oh, especially in something like roofing or real estate, right? It's like 90% of those people probably need the service or want the service or trust you enough. Right? So what we're trying to do is we're bringing people, and kind of goes in the next part here, is we're bringing people and turning them into local followers, right? So these are people just from a couple hours span. I mean, we can look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 followers over like a day period. I think I'm averaging like 20 to 25 new followers every single day. And what we're doing is we're bringing them on our list. Think of it as kind of like an email list, but for social media. And these are all potential clients of yours that now you have them on your Instagram to continue to nurture, right? To get them to learn more about you, your products, your service, and see if you are, and again, back to what we talked about, like not being the best, but the best known, you become the best known, and then they start to associate you being the best, right? Being the best at the specific service that you offer, right? So then we have the Instagram ad, we turn them into local followers, and then what we do is we start to create authority building content. So what that is these are videos that I post every single day, that all I'm doing is I'm building, and these content videos for me specifically, is I'm talking about this Instagram strategy. I'm talking about all these other outdated methods. I'm talking about really anything that is going to nurture these people, right? These people that are following me, and sell them on my idea as to why my method is the best, right? Very similar to this YouTube video, right? I'm selling you, I guess this is very meta, I'm showing you why this is the best method going into 2026. And hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to trust me a little bit more, right? Because I'm giving you the exact strategy. So what it turns into is, again, if we go from the beginning, Instagram ad turns into local followers. We start to take those local followers and have them consume our content. And then we're going to nurture and convert them, right? So we're going to have them see all these videos. Eventually, we're going to start some sort of conversation through conversion. So I'll go over the script here in a second of what you guys can actually use. And then this turns into, like I talked about earlier, is I put $200 in and I generated a $12,000 client for my services, which is a 60x return on ad spend, right? That's basically what the times goes into 12,000, right? So I spent 210 and got 12,000 out of it, right? And I'm going to continue to do this. But at the time of recording this video, I have like 3 different proposals out there. I've only spent like $500, and I have contracted revenue, potential contracted revenue upwards of $70,000. 500 in, not 70,000 made just yet, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's like these are actual people that are consuming the content. And the thing is this conversion like mechanism, I don't want you to think that this is going to take like 6 months. Yeah, for some people, if they don't need a roof or they don't need to buy a house, yes, it's going to be a little bit longer. But if you have 20 to 30 to 50 new people coming in every single day, just by sheer volume, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 5 people every single day that could start a conversation with you, that you could potentially bring them down the funnel, right? So it's hopefully this makes sense. I mean, again, I've been doing marketing for 20 plus years at this point, 21 years to be exact. I'm 30 and I started when I was 9 making YouTube videos. But this is like, it should feel very simple because it is. And I know this, like you might be thinking like, Aaron, there's no way that's this simple. It is this simple, right? I am in the mindset of simple scales, fancy fails. So if you start to try to get fancy with like creating landing pages and websites and pixels and retargeting and all these things, like, yes, again, eventually jump to that point, but I just want to keep it really simple, make a really simple return up front, and then down the road when you can hire more people, hire more team, put more into R&D, right? That's when you can start to get complex. But hey, this ad specifically, I recorded my specific ad in like 2 hours, got it up and running in literally 5 minutes. And then from there, I started generating people in the same day that I recorded the ad, people that are actually interested in my service. So what would that do for your business rather than focusing on a lot of those other things? So I know I go kind of crazy. I'm super passionate about this stuff, but I want you to understand that it is not complex. It is very simple, right? Is it easy? No. But it's very simple, right? The steps are right here in front of you. So let's break down okay, so now we understand like the high level, right? So let's break down exactly what each of these steps looks like. So first things first is the Instagram ad. What does the Instagram ad look like? What is the scripting? How can you actually recreate this for your own business? So again, we talked about $20 to $30 a day. You can start there. The ad framework is very simple. It's just 5 steps. Number 1, is your audience call out. So for me, I say, hey, so if you're a Central Arkansas service-based business, that's my call out, right? The reason you want to call it out is because you want to be able to, the people that are seeing the ad, you want them to know, is this for me or not? So again, if you're, let's say, a roofing company, right? Central Arkansas Central Arkansas homeowners, right? So by just the nature of saying that, you're going to disqualify all the renters. You're going to disqualify anyone that is not a homeowner, right? So then now you're only talking to that specific audience. Then you're going to talk about the old way. So let's say, we'll keep the roofing example. It's like, let's say, so Central Arkansas homeowners. Are you waiting for a leak in your roof to finally get it replaced, right? That's like the old way, right? The new way would be, well, what smart homeowners actually do is they treat their roof more as preventative maintenance than waiting for something to happen. Because if you wait for something to happen, it's a more costly mistake. You might have, your ceiling might come in. And it's so funny. I'm saying this because this is literally me. I put off I bought a home 2 years ago, and I put off getting my roof fixed. And we had, this is a long story, we had our roof basically imploded. So kind of embarrassed of saying that. But now I know it's like, okay, I need to talk to my roofing company a little bit more. So anyway, that would be like the new way, right? Treat it as preventative maintenance. The simple system would be something along the lines of so, here at XYZ Roofing is what we do is we go out to all of our clients and we take simple pictures. Step one is we take the simple pictures. Step number two is we give a comprehensive plan of exactly what's going to be the step-by-step in order to get your roof placed. And then step number three is we actually come out and do it completely done for you. We've been able to help, thousands of homeowners in the Central Arkansas area. So if you're someone that is looking to potentially get your roof replaced, or hey, you just want tips on how to make sure that you don't, deal with leaks in your roof, then give us a follow on Instagram and check out some of our other videos, right? So again, the CTA is more around following you so they can actually you can bring them into your ecosystem. And then down the road through the content we'll talk about in step 2 is where you start to actually convert them. So that script in and of itself, that could crush, right? If you ran that as an ad, as a specific hyper look, but you got to make sure that it's hyper targeted. You got to make sure that it's edited correctly. Those are going to be that would be a script that actually crushes for you. So the second piece here is the authority building content. So again, this is the important part because we've brought them in as a follower, but now we need to nurture that person and build you as the authority within your own local market. So the easiest way that I've done this is you want to write out 15 to 20 frequently asked questions that potential clients have, and then make a video around every single one of those things. So if you're a roofing company, you're getting the secret sauce here because I actually did this for you. These would be, let's say, 5 different frequently asked questions. So how do I know if my roof actually needs to be replaced or if it can just be repaired? So I would just make a video. Literally come on camera, go in front of a house and be like, hey, so you might be asking, this would be me in presenter mode on the video. It's like, hey, so a lot of our clients ask, do I need to get my roof replaced, or is this something that I can just, work on and fix up a little bit, right? So, and then you would literally break down and answer that question in a video, right? Same thing here. Will my homeowner's insurance cover storm or hail damage, and how does that process work? So you'd make a video, right? A lot of homeowners are wondering, will my insurance cover if I got, get hail, not marks, but hail damage on my roof? And then you talk about it, right? So I won't do the same thing for all these, but how long does a full roof replacement take? What type of shingles materials last the longest in Arkansas weather? How much does a roof replacement cost, right? These are some of the frequently asked questions. So you just get on camera and talk about these things, because what happens is here's the kind of the beauty of this is a little sneaky tactic is, a lot of times, these specific questions these are sales type questions. And a lot of times, if you're talking to a potential client and they're asking you these questions, a lot of times they kind of feel like they're being sold to by the way that you answer those questions, because they are assuming you're going to answer the questions in a way that is going to make them buy. So when you can put these in front of them before you even talk to them and they can answer all their questions, not only do they look at you as the expert and the authority, and that's how it nurtures them up, but now they trust you because you're just putting it out on the table, right? You're not trying to hide anything from them. So that by the time they have a conversation with you, and like I said, I think I actually I put frequently asked questions on here, but you can also put, you could talk about the objections, right? Common objections, because if you can pre-handle objections, guess what? By the time you get on a conversation with them and you get on a call with them, it no longer becomes a sales conversation. They just want to give you their money, right? It's a very, very easy sale when it gets to that point. So that's what I would do, is just create 15 to 20. And the cool part about this is let's say you only have 20. It's like, Aaron, I could literally think of no more questions than 20 frequently asked questions. All you're going to do is just recycle them. Ask them again, right? You post the 20, and guess what? As 20 posts go down, you're just going to continue to, I wouldn't say repost them, but just remake them or say them in a little bit different way, right? Change up the first 5 seconds. And you can just keep recycling through this, because at the end of the day, it's like, if those are the top 20 questions, then you want to keep putting those in front of your audience, right? So that brings us to the last piece here. So I didn't really talk about it over here of like, how do we actually convert them or bring them down the funnel? Is what's going to happen is one of two things. Is, before I actually cover this, is the first way is because you're consistent with content, because you're always getting in front of them, let's say you're active in your stories, is people are going to reach out to you, right? They're going to reach out to you in the Instagram DM saying, hey, they see a specific video about insurance, or a specific video about hail damage, or a specific video about all this rain that's been happening, right? It's like they're going to come to you, and that is a direct conversation. Like, I promise you, these conversations are so freaking easy. Like, you're not chasing them. You're not, calling them 55 times because they put in their name, phone number, email. You're not like having to like haggle them and get them and wrestle them on a sales conversation. No, it's like they're coming to you and they want your help, right? Think about the way that I like to position this is think about referrals, right? How easy are referral conversations for you? That is exactly what this is. They are literally like probably better than referrals, honestly, because a referral, they just know you from what their friend says. This is like, they already feel like they know you, right? So it makes your conversations and your job really, really easy. So that's the first way. But the second way is we do want to be a little bit more proactive with this, right? We don't want to just like wait for people. Is every single time you get a new follower, right? So I have all these people coming in as new followers to my account, is I message every single one of them, and how really all 4 of these conversations I've had, the one that turned into a closed deal, and then the rest of them, this is the same message that they get. And if you're watching this and you're like, what the heck? This is what Aaron messaged me with. It's what I do with every single one. So you're going to message these people every single time they follow you. You're going to say, hey, name, right? So, hey, John, hey, Sally, whatever. I appreciate the follow. Thanks for the support. Just curious, are you here for the videos, or are you actively looking for end results? So for me, I say, are you actively looking to grow your business through strategically placed ads, right? And then here's the thing. Because they decided to follow you, 50% of them are going to say, oh yeah, I want to, so let's say I'm saying, are you actively looking to get your roof replaced? Are you actively looking to get your car wrapped? Are you actively looking to get solar, right? 50% of them, because they followed you in the first place, is they're probably interested, right? At least somewhat interested to continue the conversation. So you're just going to ask this question. Let's say again, 50% of them are like, yes, I want to do it. So let's move forward. You have the conversations, and you just treat that as if you would any other sales conversation, right? A lead that comes in, you figure out their current situation, their desired situation, right? Why did they reach out? What is their pain that they're feeling? And then you convert them into an actual consultation, sales call, get a quote, whatever it may be. And then sometimes people are like, oh no, I'm just like here for the content. I thought it was cool. So then you say, okay, cool. Have a good day, right? Hope, let me know if you need anything. Right? And then those people then get, if you look at that, the kind of like the two sides of it is 50% of them are, potential clients. The other 50% are still potential clients, right? You have 100% of potential clients, but the other 50%, they are just now added to your nurture list. So it is just up to you to continue on this, right? Continue on the actual creating the content, getting in front of them. And like we said at the very beginning, is becoming the best known and becoming the local authority in your specific market. So all that being said, hopefully this is helpful. I do recommend you just go out and really implement this yourself. I think it's probably one of the best things, if not the best things you can do for your business going into 2026. Now, if you want really help building this and kind of like step-by-step hand-holding through this entire process and building out for your own local business, then what I want you to do is go over to Instagram at Local Authority Media. That's my IG. And I want you to DM me the word LAF. So make sure it's all one word because I want to make sure that I can reach out to you. LAF, this will let me know that you came from this specific video, and we can continue the conversation and figure out, how, can I even help you? I can't help everybody. I mostly work with service-based businesses, but I mean, we could do this with really any local business out there, really any business. We have a lot of online businesses that we implement this for as well. But just DM me the word LAF over on Instagram, and we can see if we can actually help you out. So like I said, my name is Aaron Martinez from Local Authority Media. You can click the video on screen to check out another video here on the YouTube channel all around Instagram marketing, ads, strategic marketing, and we'll see you guys on the next one.